Hey guys, welcome back to Shireen's Serenity. So recently I purchased a few books from Barnes& and Noble and I just want to share with you guys what I brought. So the first book I'm going to show you is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Now I feel like this is such a popular classic book. I remember reading this back in high school, I believe sophomore or junior year of high school. So that's taking me back to like 2010, 2011. And I remember finishing this book and thinking how much I wanted to purchase this of my own. And I love the plot and I love everything about this book. And I am so glad that I have actually a copy of my own. If you guys don't know what this book is about, from my memory, this is about, the setting is in Alabama, and it's back in the days where racism was a little bit more prominent than it is now. And a white woman accused a black man of raping her. So a white lawyer named Atticus is defending the black man. And I don't really remember because I know Atticus's children had a big huge part of this book, and with the character named Boo Radley. I mean, it's been, I said 2010, 2011. It's been a few years since I've last read this book, but from my memory, that is what it's about. And I'm really excited to reread this and kind of reread it in another way, in another perspective. I was much younger back then, and I'm just excited to read it now. All right. So moving on to the next book is Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Again, this is another book that I read back in high school. It's actually a tragedy play, and it's about a man named Macbeth who gets a prophecy from a couple of witches saying that he'll be king of, I believe, Scotland. And so in order for him to reach his position as king, he does a few illegal things, and including murder and all that stuff, to gain power. And so I'm excited to read this again. I can't remember if I liked it back in high school or not, but again, I was younger then, and so I'm going to reread it with fresh eyes, and really excited that I purchased this book. All right. So the third book I'm going to show you guys is Transformations by Anne Sexton. And this is actually, sorry, I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah, the lighting. This is actually a poetry book, and something you guys may not know about me is I love poetry. I write poetry of my own. I've been writing it since I was a teenager. And I actually have one poetry book. It's Milk and Honey. But any other poetry that I've read, I've only read it through research online. So I kind of want to build my poetry collection up and actually have books on it. But I've heard of Anne Sexton, and she's very prominent in the poetry field, and so I was like, let me try to research a book about her. And I read the synopsis of this, and pretty much it's just her reenactment and her rendition of popular fairy tales like Rapunzel, Snow White, Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood. And so I just thought this was interesting, and I picked it out. So, yeah, this is my third book. All right. So the next book I'm going to show you is To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. And for some reason, I love this cover and the art. So I don't know why. It's so simple, but I don't know. It's intriguing to me. But I've always wanted to read Virginia Woolf's works of art, She has so much writing out there, like short stories and essays and novels, but I've always been intimidated by Virginia Woolf. And so I actually watched this video of a fellow booktuber named Sophie Carlton. I'm not sure if I'm saying her last name right, but I'll put the video down in the description bar. But she kind of like gave tips on how to start reading Virginia Woolf, and she actually recommends reading her short essays and not her novels and stuff like that. But knowing me, I had to just jump right into it. But I'll read a little bit of the synopsis that it has on the back. So, To the Lighthouse is made up of 3 powerfully charged visions into the life of the Ramsay family, living in a summer house off the rocky coast of Scotland. There's the serene and maternal Mrs. Ramsay, the tragic yet absurd Mr. Ramsay, their 8 children. Wow, that's a lot of children. And assorted holiday guests. From the seemingly trivial postponement of a visit to a nearby lighthouse, Virginia Woolf examines tensions and allegiances and shows the small joys and quiet tragedies of everyday life that seemingly could go on forever. So yeah, this is my first Virginia Woolf book that I'm going to be reading, and I'm nervous but excited to delve into Virginia Woolf. And yeah. Okay, so last but not least, the 5th book I'm going to show you is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. And this, I feel like, is a classic. I've heard of In Cold Blood for as long as I can remember. Anyone who likes murder mystery novels has probably heard of In Cold Blood, and I just decided to pick it up. But I'll read a little bit of the synopsis on the back for you guys, for you guys to kind of understand what this novel is about. So it says, on November 15th, 1959, in the small town of Holcomb, Kansas, 4 members of the Clutter family were savagely murdered by blasts from a shotgun held a few inches from their faces. There was no apparent motive for the crime, and there were almost no clues. So that's all I'm going to read to you guys, but I am super excited to read this and kind of see if it is overhyped, like if it's too much of a hype, because I feel like I've heard of this book forever, and I've heard that it's such a good book and that you should read it. So I'm excited to see what my perspective of this book is. So yeah, this is all the books that I purchased from Barnes & Noble. And yeah, every book I'm actually really excited to read. And I am satisfied with this book haul that I have. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.